Want to make a tasty pasta dish that everybody will love? How about a cheesy baked rigatoni dish with ground beef? If you think pasta dishes are just for the holidays or just for like fancy Sunday night dinners, you are completely wrong, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to make a cheesy baked rigatoni dish for any night of the week. And the best part is you can make it 1 or 2 days in advance. So let me show you how it's done. For other easy baked pasta dishes that your family or friends will love, subscribe to the Sip by Go channel on YouTube and make sure to hit that little bell because it's gonna let you know when my new videos are out. So again, I'm Jenna from Sip by Go, and let me take you into the kitchen and show you how to make a delicious baked rigatoni dish. This cheesy baked rigatoni comes together really easily after you boil the pasta. It's then mixed in with some ground beef that's sauteed on the stove. I'll teach you exactly how to do that. And then it's also mixed in with some ricotta filling. So that makes a really creamy texture inside the baked pasta dish. So the first thing that you're going to do to get started with the pasta dish is to cook that pasta. So you're going to want to read the package instructions that you have for the rigatoni. And rigatoni is a great pasta for baked dishes like this, some baked casseroles, because it really holds on to the sauce and the cheese because it has little ridges on the pasta. You can see they're textured if you look really closely here. So you need to heat a large pot of water on the stove. I like to use really high heat, medium high or high, and boil the pasta as directed. And I'll always throw in a little bit of salt to the water just to make sure it gets that flavor. And make sure to only cook the pasta to al dente. If it has a range from 10 minutes to 12 minutes, then go ahead and pick 10 minutes and taste it then. But it'll probably be al dente, which means just a little bit crunchy or a little bit tough to the tooth when you bite into the pasta. And that's great because the baked pasta cooks in the oven afterwards a little bit more. So you don't want it to go into this baked pasta dish way too soft. So while the pot of water on the stove is boiling the rigatoni pasta, you're going to heat a large skillet on the stove to medium high and then add olive oil to the pan. And what you see that I'm doing here is dicing up some red pepper, some onion. That's all going to go in the filling on the stove. I'm going to add the garlic. Once that is all figured out and added to here, then I'll start browning the beef on the stove. And also seasoning here, well, I'll just run you down a list of everything that's here. So after the oil was like hot and shiny, it's ready to do the ground beef. Also went the onion, the red pepper, some garlic, some salt, some pepper, and dried parsley and dried oregano. And those are the Italian spices that are in this pasta sprinkle that I use all the time. But you could also just use some parsley and oregano from your own spice cabinet, and it'll taste really great. So you brown the beef and the vegetables together. It takes about 10 minutes, and you're gonna need to keep on breaking down the beef as it cooks, stirring it regularly until the beef is thoroughly cooked and the onions are translucent. You don't want anything to burn, but you shouldn't have to add anything to the pot. You could also always add like a tablespoon of water here and there if things are drying out, but as long as it's on medium-high heat, you should be good to go. And once that beef is all browned, looking delicious, all the vegetables are cooked, they look really good right here. I am kind of getting hungry. So after they're all done, it's time to take them off of the stove and set them on some paper towel so the extra grease can come off if there is any. You don't have to go crazy, but just a little grease removal does the trick for me. Do you find it hard to say no to a delicious pasta dish like me? Well, let me know in the comments a yes or a no if you love to eat pasta. And then it's time in a large bowl. You can gently combine the cooked beef mixture that you just made on the stove with some fresh ricotta cheese. And then afterwards, you're going to use some fresh Parmesan cheese. I always love to get it right off of the block. It just tastes so good. And then you take a cup of pasta sauce, or you could use a concoction you make of like canned tomato sauce mixed in with some of that pasta sprinkle, like dried parsley, dried oregano, that sort of thing. So once you have that delicious ricotta and ground beef filling created for the baked rigatoni dish, it's time to combine everything together. So what I like to do is first put all of the rigatoni pasta into the baking dish. Here it's a 9x9 baking dish, but really there's always so much pasta and so much filling. You could probably end up with like 1.5 of this recipe, so feel free to use a larger dish. Really should have done that here myself. Anyways, so you combine all of that together, the beef mixture, ricotta cheese, Parmesan cheese, and all the pasta. And then you put a little bit of more pasta sauce on top. And then you add a layer of fresh grated mozzarella cheese, or you can just use the stuff out of the bag, whatever you have. So that layer of mozzarella cheese goes on the top, and it goes into the oven for about 20 minutes at 350 degrees. So you know that the pasta dish is ready when the cheese is completely melted, and you might want to check on it about 10 or 15 minutes in and see if you need to rotate the pasta dish. Sometimes ovens will cook a little bit unevenly, and you want to make sure that all of the top is melting equally. So when it comes out, you don't have like some really burnt spots and some really uncooked spots. That would not be as delicious as you could imagine it. So anyways, you let it cool for at least 10 minutes when it comes out of the oven, maybe 20 minutes, maybe longer if you have the time, because the pasta is going to set a little bit, but it'll still stay nice and warm. If it's going to be more than like 10 minutes, you could always put some tin foil on the top of the pasta dish so it stays nice and warm for eating. Now, I love to serve a baked pasta dish like this with some sort of protein on the side. There is ground beef inside, but it's always nice with like a little grilled chicken or maybe some meatballs that were left over. But really, this is kind of a meal in itself, so you could always just serve it with some salad. Oh my goodness, doesn't it look so delicious? I think for a kind of messy concoction when you're starting to formulate it, it looks really good by the time it's time to serve and all of that cheese is melted. Well, I do have some extra tips for you that I'm going to get into, but first you have to see what it looks like coming out. Definitely don't use a spatula, although this spatula is awesome. You need a big, large spoon. Consider my lesson here learned. But oh, that looks so good. Again, the spoon would have helped more of the sauce come out, but it's all just kind of cheesy and baked together there. And the rigatoni with the grooves in the pasta has really stuck on to that cheese and sauce. So I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on meal prepping this so you could make it in advance. Now, when I was busy writing my cookbook, it's kind of funny because I was so busy writing and working on food that we really didn't have much time to have extravagant dinners along with being new parents during that period, during that first year of our baby's life. So anyways, I was really into these kind of dishes that I could make ahead in batches. I would easily just double a recipe like this and make a couple days worth of food, sometimes freeze them. So I really think learning how to make an easy baked pasta dish is the way to go if you need to make good food but don't always have time every single day to do it. For your own kitchen confidence when it comes to making this pasta dish, head on over to sipbytego.com where you can print the entire recipe step by step. It's like I'm there with you the whole way. Well, I hope that you've really learned how to go ahead and make a dish like this for yourself. And if you have any home chef friends, please send this video their way so they can eat some tasty pasta too. Well, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful and delicious day. Cheers! Before you head out, subscribe to the Sip by Go channel on YouTube and check out another video.